Welcome back to Take the Leap Motivation, where ancient wisdom meets modern life. Today we're diving deep into Stoic philosophy to explore a crucial question. Who should we choose not to help? Helping others is a noble act, but even the Stoics knew there are certain types of people we should avoid extending our aid to, for our own peace and well-being. In today's video, we'll uncover the 8 types of people we should not help, based on timeless Stoic principles. Let's get started. 1. The manipulators. The first type of person we should avoid helping is the manipulator. These individuals are highly skilled at twisting situations, conversations, and even emotions to serve their own selfish goals. They may appear friendly, vulnerable, or even desperate, but their intentions are self-serving. Manipulators know how to exploit the kindness, generosity, and empathy of others, often leaving you feeling used, drained, or even guilty for saying no. In Stoicism, one of the key virtues is wisdom, which involves discerning the true nature of things and acting in accordance with reason. Helping others is noble, but the Stoics caution us to be careful about who we extend our energy and resources to. By offering assistance to manipulators, we aren't helping them grow or change. Instead, we're enabling their toxic behavior and allowing ourselves to be pulled away from the pursuit of virtue. Manipulators often mask their true motives, but there are signs to be aware of. They might use guilt, flattery, or appeal to your sense of duty. You may find yourself thinking, if I don't help them, who will? Or, maybe they really need me. However, these feelings are part of the manipulation. Stoicism teaches us that it's essential to evaluate situations with clarity and not let our emotions cloud our judgment. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, advises us to be mindful of the people around us, especially those with ulterior motives. Take care that you don't treat inhumanity as it deserves. Do not let them cause you to lose your sense of justice and virtue. This wisdom reminds us that, when dealing with manipulative individuals, we must stay rooted in our own principles. Helping someone who constantly bends the truth or uses others for personal gain not only harms us, but also allows them to continue their harmful behavior. By helping a manipulator, you may feel a short-term sense of accomplishment or moral duty fulfilled, but over time, the impact can be damaging. Manipulators often don't appreciate your help and are likely to ask for more, exploiting your kindness repeatedly. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, warned against giving to those who don't truly deserve it. He who receives a benefit with gratitude repays the first installment of it. On Benefits, Book 2. However, manipulators seldom show gratitude. Their intentions are to take as much as possible without any concern for your well-being. Stoicism teaches us to be rational in our decision-making, ensuring that our actions lead us toward virtuous living, not away from it. The Stoic response to dealing with manipulators is to maintain boundaries and protect your inner peace. Epictetus advised focusing on what is within our control and letting go of the rest. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. In the case of manipulators, we cannot control their behavior or motives, but we can control how we respond. The wise course of action is to refuse to be drawn into their schemes, to calmly and rationally set limits, and to direct our efforts toward those who genuinely deserve and appreciate our help. The chronic victims. The second type of person we should be cautious about helping is the chronic victim. These individuals view life through a lens of constant misfortune, believing that the world is unfairly against them. They are trapped in a cycle of self-pity, and rather than confronting challenges with resilience, they choose to complain and lament their circumstances. While offering help to people in need is a kind and virtuous act, helping chronic victims often leads to frustration and exhaustion, as their mindset prevents them from taking responsibility for their own growth. Stoicism teaches that suffering and difficulties are inevitable parts of life, but what truly matters is how we choose to respond to them. The Stoics believed that we cannot control external events, but we have full control over our reactions and attitudes toward those events. Chronic victims, however, do the opposite. They surrender their agency to external circumstances, seeing themselves as powerless. Epictetus, one of the most well-known Stoic philosophers, emphasized this point in his teachings. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. For the chronic victim, everything that happens in their life is a source of complaint. Whether it's minor inconveniences or larger challenges, their mindset leads them to believe that they are always at the mercy of external forces, and they refuse to take control of their own attitudes. This type of person may appear to seek help, but in reality, they are often seeking validation for their negativity rather than solutions. One of the biggest challenges in helping chronic victims is that your efforts rarely lead to any real change in their situation. They may momentarily express gratitude or relief, but soon enough, they will find something else to complain about. This continuous cycle can drain your energy, as your help doesn't encourage growth or self-improvement in them. Instead, it reinforces their belief that they are helpless and that others must solve their problems. Seneca, another prominent Stoic philosopher, wrote about the importance of focusing on those who genuinely want to improve their lives. We should give as we would receive, cheerfully, quickly, and without hesitation. For there is no grace in a benefit that sticks to the fingers. In other words, help should be given freely, but it should also be directed toward those who are ready to embrace it and use it to improve their situation. Chronic victims, by their very nature, are not prepared to change, and helping them often leads to frustration rather than fulfillment. Self-reliance is a core Stoic principle. The philosophy teaches that each individual has the power to overcome adversity through inner strength and resilience. Chronic victims, however, reject this notion. Instead of taking responsibility for their own lives, they continually blame external factors and wait for others to rescue them from their perceived misfortunes. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, reminds us of the importance of personal responsibility. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Helping chronic victims may seem like a compassionate act, but it ultimately hinders their personal growth. They must learn to take control of their own mindset and realize that they have the power to rise above challenges. Until they embrace this inner strength, offering them assistance only perpetuates their cycle of dependence and negativity. 3. The ungrateful. The third type of person we should be cautious about helping is the ungrateful. These individuals take assistance, support, and kindness for granted, never acknowledging or appreciating the efforts others make on their behalf. They may even come to expect help as if it's their right, with little or no recognition of the sacrifice, time, or effort that has been extended to them. In Stoic philosophy, gratitude is considered an essential component of living a virtuous life. Stoicism teaches us that recognizing and appreciating what we are given helps us stay grounded in humility and fosters strong relationships with others. However, when we continuously offer our help to ungrateful individuals, we are likely to feel drained, underappreciated, and even used. Gratitude is a powerful practice in Stoicism because it helps us remain mindful of the good things in our lives. Rather than dwelling on what we lack, Stoics encourage us to focus on the blessings and opportunities we do have. Gratitude strengthens our connection to virtue because it reminds us that life is full of opportunities for growth, learning, and appreciation. Seneca, one of the leading Stoic philosophers, highlighted the importance of gratitude in his work on benefits. He stated, "He who receives a benefit with gratitude repays the first installment of it." This quote captures the idea that showing gratitude is a natural and necessary response when someone offers us help. Gratitude creates a cycle of goodwill and strengthens bonds between people. The ungrateful, however, break this cycle, taking without any intention of reciprocating, acknowledging, or valuing what they receive. One of the most significant challenges in helping the ungrateful is the emotional toll it can take. When we extend kindness or assistance to others, we naturally hope that our efforts will be appreciated or at the very least acknowledged. When this doesn't happen, it can leave us feeling empty or disheartened. The Stoics believed that we should not expect rewards for our actions, but they also warned us against wasting our energy on those who do not value virtue. Helping the ungrateful can feel like pouring water into a bottomless well. It never seems to fill. Epictetus, in his discourses, advises us to avoid getting caught up in the behavior of others. Seek not that the things which happen should happen as you wish, but wish the things which happen to be as they are, and you will have a tranquil flow of life. By offering help to the ungrateful, we invite frustration into our lives. They continue to take without offering anything in return, be it gratitude, growth, or even an acknowledgement of the effort involved. This can ultimately pull us away from the Stoic goal of maintaining inner peace and tranquility. For Stoics, gratitude is more than just politeness. It is a reflection of one's character. An ungrateful person is not only missing out on the personal benefits of gratitude, but is also exhibiting a lack of virtue. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reflected on the importance of maintaining one's own virtue regardless of others' actions. Do not be ashamed of help. Receiving it is as natural as giving it. It is virtuous to be both grateful and to help. This wisdom suggests that while it is virtuous to help others, the recipient must also act in accordance with virtue by showing gratitude. The ungrateful by their very nature neglect this virtue, diminishing their capacity for growth and connection with others. The perpetual liars. The fourth type of person we should be wary of helping is the perpetual liar. These individuals bend reality, distort facts, and use deception as a tool to escape responsibility or manipulate others. Whether it's small lies or grand fabrications, perpetual liars choose falsehoods over truth, believing it benefits them in the short term. However, from a Stoic perspective, dishonesty only leads to moral corruption and disconnection from the virtues that foster a good life. For Stoics, truth is a cornerstone of a virtuous existence. Stoicism emphasizes living in alignment with nature, which includes being truthful in our thoughts, words, and actions. Helping a person who constantly lies enables them to continue their dishonest behavior, pulling us away from the pursuit of virtue and the principles of Stoicism. In Stoicism, the truth is not just a practical matter but a philosophical commitment to living in harmony with the world as it truly is. Truth is seen as a guiding principle that helps us make sound decisions and live according to reason. Perpetual liars, by contrast, reject truth in favor of deception, using lies to avoid accountability and responsibility for their actions. Epictetus, one of the central figures of Stoicism, reminds us of the value of truth. Whoever is free from deceit is free also from fear. This insight reflects that a life built on lies is inherently unstable and full of fear. Lying creates an ever-expanding web of falsehoods that eventually trap the liar, forcing them to live in a constant state of anxiety and worry. Stoics believe that embracing the truth, even when it's difficult, leads to a life of inner peace and resilience. When we help a person who lies consistently, we become complicit in their dishonesty. Whether we realize it or not, offering support to a liar enables them to continue deceiving others. Over time, this can erode our own sense of integrity and draw us away from the Stoic goal of living in accordance with virtue. We may justify our assistance by thinking we are being kind or compassionate, but Stoicism teaches us to be wise in how we offer help. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, advised against engaging with dishonest people and warned about the moral dangers of supporting them. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. In this case, associating with liars and helping them avoid the consequences of their deception can slowly influence our own character. We risk becoming tolerant of falsehoods, which undermines our commitment to truth and virtue. Stoicism teaches us that integrity is non-negotiable, and helping liars compromises our moral clarity. Stoics believe that truth is essential for personal growth, harmony, and inner peace. To live a virtuous life, we must not only speak the truth, but also avoid enabling others in their lies. The Stoic philosopher Seneca emphasized the dangers of dishonesty and the importance of integrity. A lie is a vice in itself, even if it brings no immediate harm to anyone. It is an act of cowardice, born of the fear of the truth. Perpetual liars may not always appear harmful at first, but their dishonesty erodes the moral fabric of their relationships and creates a ripple effect of mistrust. Helping them allows them to continue their path of deception, which not only harms others, but also distances them from the Stoic path of self-improvement and wisdom. Untrustworthy. The fifth type of person we should be cautious about helping is the untrustworthy. These individuals have betrayed our trust in the past and are likely to do so again. Trust, as the Stoics remind us, is a fragile but essential component of any meaningful relationship. It is hard-earned and easily broken. Once lost, trust can be incredibly difficult to regain, and helping those who have already betrayed you can lead to repeated disappointment and frustration. Stoicism teaches us to approach relationships with wisdom, evaluating people based on their actions rather than their words. Trust is not something to be given freely. It must be built on a foundation of honesty, reliability, and mutual respect. When someone breaks our trust, it is a reflection of their character, and it serves as a warning to be careful moving forward. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher-emperor, advises us to be discerning in our relationships. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, "The people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they cannot tell good from evil." This wisdom reminds us that betrayal and dishonesty are unfortunately common, and we must prepare ourselves mentally for such experiences. However, it also encourages us to focus on protecting our own peace and not allowing others' negative actions to dictate our behavior. If someone has betrayed us in the past, Stoicism teaches us that we must be cautious in giving them further opportunities to do so. When someone has proven to be untrustworthy, offering them help often leads to regret. Trust is the foundation upon which any meaningful assistance is built, and when that foundation is shaky, your efforts may go unappreciated or worse, be used against you. The untrustworthy may take advantage of your generosity, only to repeat their betrayal later. Seneca, a prominent Stoic philosopher, warned about the dangers of placing trust in the wrong people. You must live for others if you wish to live for yourself. While Stoicism encourages us to help others, it also advises caution in dealing with those who have already proven unreliable. Helping someone who's broken your trust can lead to frustration, disappointment, and even resentment, as their actions are likely to hurt you again. Instead of giving your energy to those who don't deserve it, Stoicism teaches us to focus on those who value and respect our efforts. A key tenet of Stoicism is maintaining inner peace and tranquility, even in the face of adversity. Offering help to someone who has betrayed your trust can disrupt that peace. When you extend trust to the untrustworthy, you open yourself up to the same pain and disappointment you experienced before. Instead of allowing history to repeat itself, Stoicism encourages us to learn from the past and act with wisdom. Epictetus advises us to focus on what we can control and accept what we cannot. Some things are up to us, and some things are not. The actions of others are beyond our control, but how we respond to them is fully within our power. By choosing not to help someone who has shown themselves to be untrustworthy, we protect our peace and make decisions that align with reason and virtue. Trust, in Stoicism, is a bond that should only be extended to those who prove themselves worthy of it. If someone has betrayed you, it's a sign that they may not deserve your help or support in the future. This doesn't mean that Stoics advocate for holding grudges or refusing to forgive. Instead, they encourage us to be cautious in extending further opportunities for betrayal. Marcus Aurelius put it simply, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." This means that while we should not allow betrayal to harden our hearts or make us vengeful, we also should not allow ourselves to be mistreated again. By withholding help from the untrustworthy, we protect ourselves and stay aligned with the Stoic path of wisdom and inner peace. The overly dependent. The sixth type of person we should be cautious about helping is the overly dependent. These individuals often refuse to take responsibility for their own lives and instead rely heavily on others for every small task or decision. While it may seem compassionate to offer help to those who struggle, constantly assisting those who refuse to help themselves can ultimately do more harm than good. Stoicism teaches the importance of self-reliance and resilience, and by over-helping the overly dependent, we risk weakening their ability to stand on their own and take control of their lives. One of the key principles of Stoicism is the idea that we must rely on ourselves to cultivate inner strength and resilience. Stoics believe that we are responsible for our own actions, emotions, and decisions. By developing self-discipline and inner control, we are better equipped to face life's challenges without constantly needing to depend on others for support. Epictetus, one of the most well-known Stoic philosophers, emphasized the importance of self-reliance. No man is free who is not master of himself. This quote speaks to the idea that true freedom comes from being able to manage oneself, our thoughts, emotions, and actions. When we allow others to become overly dependent on us, we hinder their ability to develop this essential self-mastery. While it's important to offer guidance and support when needed, constantly stepping in for those who won't take responsibility for their own lives is counterproductive. It encourages a cycle of dependence where the person becomes increasingly reliant on external help and less capable of managing their own challenges. Helping someone in need can be an act of kindness and virtue, but there is a fine line between offering support and enabling dependency. When we provide too much assistance to those who are overly dependent, we risk weakening their capacity to grow, adapt, and become resilient in the face of adversity. Instead of learning to solve problems on their own, they begin to expect others to do it for them. Seneca, another prominent Stoic philosopher, cautioned against overindulging those who constantly lean on others. Sometimes even to live is an act of courage. This quote highlights the importance of personal strength and courage in the face of life's difficulties. While it may seem kind to offer help at every turn, overhelping can actually strip someone of the courage they need to face their challenges head-on. Stoicism encourages us to empower others, not by doing things for them, but by helping them cultivate the inner strength necessary to take control of their own lives. In Stoicism, there is a strong emphasis on balance, particularly when it comes to helping others. While we should be generous and offer assistance where needed, we must also ensure that our help doesn't hinder a person's growth or lead them to become overly dependent on us. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher-emperor, wrote about the importance of helping others in a way that aligns with reason and virtue. Do not be ashamed of help. Receiving it is as natural as giving it, but do so with wisdom. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that it's not wrong to give or receive help, but we must do so wisely. Helping someone who is overly dependent can lead to them relying on us to such an extent that they fail to develop the necessary skills for self-reliance. Stoic wisdom encourages us to assess whether our assistance will truly benefit the person in the long run or simply enable further dependency. Rather than enabling dependency, Stoicism teaches us to encourage responsibility and personal accountability in others. It is more virtuous to offer guidance and wisdom that helps a person grow into self-sufficiency than to continuously solve their problems for them. By doing so, we help them build the resilience and inner strength needed to navigate life's challenges on their own. Epictetus once said, "We cannot control the wind, but we can adjust our sails." This Stoic lesson underscores the importance of teaching others to take control of their own lives. We cannot solve every problem for someone else, but we can provide them with the tools and mindset needed to handle life's uncertainties. Encouraging the overly dependent to take responsibility for their actions is an act of true kindness as it fosters their growth and independence. The seventh type of person we should avoid helping is the vengeful. These individuals are consumed by a desire for revenge, driven by bitterness and anger, often willing to go to great lengths to settle perceived scores. From a Stoic perspective, vengeance is a destructive force that harms both the seeker and those around them. Helping someone who is fueled by revenge not only risks dragging us into their cycle of negativity, but it also goes against the Stoic principle of forgiveness and inner peace. Stoicism teaches that revenge is a waste of energy and contrary to the idea of living a virtuous life. Rather than seeking to get even with those who have wronged us, Stoics encourage forgiveness, understanding, and detachment from destructive emotions like anger and resentment. The pursuit of revenge not only perpetuates harm, but also damages the character of the one seeking it. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, reminds us of the futility of revenge. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. This profound statement highlights that by seeking revenge, we allow ourselves to become just like the very people who have wronged us, full of negativity, anger, and hatred. Stoicism teaches that our goal should be to rise above such emotions, to remain virtuous and calm in the face of wrongdoing, and not let the actions of others dictate our behavior. Helping someone who is vengeful can pull us into their destructive mindset. The person seeking revenge is often blinded by anger and pain, and by assisting them, we risk getting caught up in their emotional turmoil. This can lead us down a path of negativity and conflict, distancing us from the Stoic ideal of maintaining inner calm and acting with reason. Seneca, another prominent Stoic philosopher, advised against indulging in anger and vengeance, recognizing how damaging it can be to our well-being. Anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it. Vengeful people often become consumed by their anger, allowing it to control their actions. In helping them, we're not offering true support but rather encouraging their harmful emotions. This can lead to more harm than good, both for the person seeking revenge and for those around them. Stoicism teaches that, instead of fueling the flames of vengeance, we should aim to extinguish them through reason, understanding, and forgiveness. One of the core principles of Stoicism is maintaining inner tranquility, regardless of external circumstances. Helping someone who is vengeful disrupts our own peace as we become involved in their cycle of anger and retaliation. Stoics believe that we should focus on controlling our own reactions and emotions, rather than allowing the actions of others to disturb our inner calm. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, offered wise counsel on how to handle challenging situations. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Helping a vengeful person can pull us into a reactive state, where we become entangled in their anger and desire for retribution. Instead, Stoicism teaches us to respond with wisdom and detachment, allowing us to maintain our composure and act in alignment with our values. By avoiding involvement in vengeance, we protect our inner calm and prevent the spread of negative emotions. Forgiveness is a key aspect of Stoic philosophy. Rather than holding on to grudges or seeking to punish those who have wronged us, Stoics believe in letting go of resentment and focusing on personal growth. Vengeance keeps us stuck in the past, constantly reliving the pain of being wronged. Forgiveness, on the other hand, frees us from that pain and allows us to move forward with clarity and purpose. Whenever someone has done wrong by you, immediately consider what notion of good or evil they have. When you see that, you'll feel compassion instead of astonishment or anger. By understanding the motivations behind someone's actions, we can let go of the desire for revenge and instead cultivate compassion. Helping someone who is vengeful only keeps them trapped in their anger, while forgiveness and understanding offer a path to inner peace and healing. The eighth type of person we should be cautious about helping is the habitually negative. These individuals seem to find fault in everything and everyone, constantly focusing on what's wrong rather than what's right. Their negativity can drain the energy of those around them, making it difficult to maintain a positive outlook. According to Stoicism, we should focus on what we can control and maintain inner tranquility. Helping habitually negative people often pulls us into their cloud of pessimism, potentially harming our mental and emotional well-being. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate resilience and focus on what we can control. This philosophy encourages us to avoid being swept away by external circumstances, including the negativity of others. When we help people who are chronically negative, we risk getting caught up in their toxic mindset, which can disrupt our emotional equilibrium. Epictetus reminds us to focus on our internal reactions rather than external problems. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Enchiridion, Chapter 1. Habitually negative people often fixate on external problems, real or imagined, over which they have little or no control. By offering help or support to these individuals, we may end up enabling their negative thought patterns, which can have a corrosive effect on our own mental state. Stoicism encourages us to rise above such negativity, not by avoiding these people entirely, but by protecting our own peace and not allowing their attitudes to dictate our mindset. Negative individuals can be emotionally draining. They tend to focus on complaints, difficulties, and worst-case scenarios, making it challenging for those around them to remain positive and forward-looking. Stoicism teaches that we must be careful about the company we keep, as the attitudes of those around us can influence our own state of mind. Marcus Aurelius advises us to be mindful of the people we associate with. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Just as the soul can be dyed by our own thoughts, it can also be influenced by the attitudes of others. When we spend too much time with habitually negative individuals, their pessimism can begin to infiltrate our own thinking, leading us to focus on what's wrong rather than what's within our control. This is why Stoicism encourages us to protect our mental and emotional state by avoiding undue exposure to negativity. Stoicism teaches that we should maintain a positive, proactive mindset, focusing on what we can control and accepting what we cannot. Habitually, negative people, on the other hand, often resist this way of thinking. They tend to dwell on problems and external circumstances, feeling as though life is something that happens to them rather than something they can actively shape. Seneca, a prominent Stoic philosopher, offered wisdom on the importance of maintaining a balanced perspective. A good character is the only guarantee of everlasting, carefree happiness. In Stoicism, our character and inner virtue are what lead to lasting happiness and peace. By focusing on virtue and the things within our control, we can avoid being weighed down by the negativity of others. Helping habitually negative individuals can distract us from this pursuit, making it more difficult to maintain the tranquility and inner calm that Stoicism prizes. One of the central tenets of Stoicism is the idea of protecting our inner peace. The world around us may be filled with challenges and negativity, but Stoicism teaches that we should not allow these external forces to disturb our inner calm. This applies especially when dealing with habitually negative people, who can drag us into their pessimistic mindset if we're not careful. Epictetus emphasizes the importance of guarding our own mental state. Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens. While we cannot control the negative attitudes of others, we can control our own responses to them. Stoicism encourages us to set healthy boundaries with those who bring negativity into our lives. By doing so, we protect our mental well-being and preserve the energy needed to focus on what truly matters, living a virtuous and fulfilling life. Helping others is a virtuous act, but Stoicism teaches us to be wise in choosing where we invest our energy. Habitually, negative people are often resistant to change, preferring to wallow in their pessimism rather than take steps to improve their outlook. By spending too much time or energy trying to help these individuals, we risk wasting our efforts on people who are not ready to embrace a more positive way of thinking. Marcus Aurelius offers a reminder about where to focus our efforts. Do every act of your life as though it were the last act of your life. This advice encourages us to focus on meaningful, virtuous action. Helping those who are truly receptive to growth and change is a wise investment of our time and energy. However, continually offering assistance to people who are committed to negativity can pull us away from the path of virtue and disrupt our peace of mind. The ninth type of person we should be cautious about helping is the selfish. These individuals prioritize their own needs, desires, and ambitions above all else. They often seek assistance only when it benefits them, without any concern for reciprocity or gratitude. In the world of Stoicism, selfishness is seen as a deviation from the path of virtue, where community, cooperation, and mutual support are valued over self-interest. Helping selfish people encourages their self-centered behavior and leads us away from the Stoic ideal of living in harmony with others. Stoicism teaches that we are all part of a greater whole, humanity. We are interconnected, and our actions should reflect this broader perspective rather than focusing solely on individual gain. A selfish person, however, is primarily concerned with their own well-being, often at the expense of others. By continuously offering help to these individuals, we unintentionally support their narrow focus on self-interest, which contradicts Stoic principles. Marcus Aurelius speaks to the importance of thinking beyond oneself. What is bad for the hive cannot be good for the bee. This quote emphasizes that personal gain at the expense of the collective well-being is ultimately harmful. Stoics believe that what benefits the community benefits the individual, and vice versa. When someone acts purely out of selfishness, they harm not only others, but also themselves in the long run, as they separate themselves from the natural interconnectedness of society. Helping selfish individuals can feel like feeding a bottomless pit. No matter how much effort or energy we invest, they are rarely satisfied, as their focus is on getting more without offering anything in return. This leads to a situation where our efforts are not appreciated or reciprocated, which can drain us emotionally, mentally, and even physically. Seneca advises us to be careful about where we direct our efforts. Associate with those who will make a better man of you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve. The process is mutual. For men learn while they teach. This advice highlights the Stoic belief that relationships should be mutually beneficial. Helping someone who is selfish does not improve either party. Instead, it creates an imbalanced dynamic where one person gives and the other takes without growth or change. Stoicism teaches us to invest our energy in relationships that foster mutual support and personal development, not in those that perpetuate selfishness. A core tenet of Stoic philosophy is the focus on the collective good. Stoicism encourages us to act in ways that benefit not just ourselves, but also the larger community. Selfish people, however, are focused on advancing their own goals and desires, often at the expense of others. By helping them, we are complicit in their disregard for the well-being of the community. Epictetus reminds us to stay aligned with virtue and not be swayed by selfish interests. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid with regard to external things. This quote speaks to the Stoic ideal of focusing on internal virtues rather than external rewards or personal gain. Selfish individuals are often fixated on external success, wealth, or recognition, and by assisting them, we may inadvertently prioritize these superficial goals over the Stoic values of wisdom, justice, and integrity. One of the risks of helping selfish people is that it can disturb our own sense of inner peace. When we give and receive nothing in return, or when we feel taken advantage of, it can lead to feelings of frustration, resentment, or even bitterness. Stoicism teaches us to guard our tranquility by being mindful of where we direct our energy and whom we choose to help. Marcus Aurelius offers a reminder to focus on what truly matters. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. This advice encourages us to focus on embodying virtue rather than engaging with those who detract from it. Helping selfish individuals can pull us into a cycle of giving without meaning or purpose, which can distract us from our own path of personal growth and inner tranquility. Stoicism teaches that we should be intentional in our actions, ensuring that our efforts align with our values and contribute to the greater good. One of the most important lessons Stoicism offers is the value of setting boundaries. While we may feel a sense of duty to help others, Stoicism reminds us that we must also protect our own well-being. Helping selfish people without setting limits can drain our resources and take us away from more meaningful pursuits. By establishing boundaries, we ensure that we remain aligned with our values and are not exploited by those who prioritize themselves above all else. Seneca advises us to guard our time and energy carefully. We are always getting ready to live, but never living. This quote serves as a reminder that we must be conscious of how we spend our time and energy. If we are constantly helping selfish individuals, we may find ourselves neglecting more meaningful and fulfilling opportunities to live in accordance with Stoic principles. By setting boundaries, we protect our time and ensure that our efforts are directed toward those who truly deserve and appreciate them. In the Stoic journey, it's important to practice compassion, but not at the expense of our own peace and virtue. Recognizing when to step back is crucial for living a balanced and wise life. Remember, we can't save everyone, and that's okay. We must prioritize our energy and choose where our help can make a real difference. If you enjoyed today's wisdom, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with those who might need it. And as always, take the leap toward a life filled with Stoic wisdom. Thank you for watching,